Welcome. Today, we're going to explore some of the most valuable wheat pennies in U.S. history. In this video, we'll be looking at the top 4 rare 1-cent wheat penny coins, including error coins, special copper variations, and unique color-toned examples that have become major highlights in the coin collector and investor world. These rare treasures are not just pieces of history. They are also some of the most valuable coins collectors are searching for today. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of American currency, this video is for you. Let's get started with the first coin. Money bag. The 1943 no-mint mark copper wheat penny. The accidental miracle that can change your destiny forever. In the vast universe of American coinage, few stories shine as brightly, or as mysteriously, as that of the 1943 no-mint mark copper wheat penny. This tiny coin, barely weighing a few grams, holds a legend so powerful that it could transform an ordinary person into a millionaire overnight. It's not just a coin. It's a treasure, a survivor of chance, and a symbol of the rarest miracles in numismatic history. The 1943 copper penny is one of those errors that wasn't meant to exist, yet somehow slipped through the careful fingers of history to become a timeless enigma. One that still whispers of luck, fate, and unimaginable value. To understand this coin's incredible story, you must journey back to America during the height of World War II. It was 1943, and the world was burning with conflict. The United States was pouring its resources into the war effort. Guns, planes, ships, tanks, and copper, the metal traditionally used in pennies, was desperately needed for bullets and shell casings. The U.S. Mint made a crucial decision. To conserve copper, all 1-cent coins that year would be made from zinc-coated steel. They shone like silver when new, unlike the familiar reddish hue of copper. Millions of these steel cents rolled out of the presses, reflecting a nation's determination and sacrifice during a time of war. But amidst this sea of silver-toned steel, a few mysterious copper pennies were struck by accident. No one knows the full story. Some say it was a slip in timing, with leftover copper planchets from 1942 still in the mint's machinery. Others believe it was the deliberate act of a mint worker who wanted to preserve the tradition of the copper cent whatever the cause. A handful of copper blanks found their way into the 1943 production run. They were pressed with Lincoln's noble face and the proud wheat stalks on the back, then quietly released into circulation, never to be noticed until decades later, when the world discovered their worth. The no mint mark on the 1943 copper penny tells us it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest and most historically rich of all U.S. mints. Philadelphia coins bore no identifying letter, but they carried a legacy of excellence and experimentation. The city's mint was a cathedral of craftsmanship, where the soul of American currency took shape. Within its walls, under the rhythmic hum of presses and the spark of molten metal, the legendary copper pennies of 1943 were born. Perhaps only by mistake, but destined to outshine every coin ever minted. For years, collectors thought stories of a 1943 copper penny were myths, fairy tales told by dreamers. After all, the U.S. Mint had only authorized steel cents that year. But then came the shock of reality. A single copper example surfaced, and experts confirmed it was genuine. The coin sent waves through the collecting world, turning heads and sparking one of the greatest hunts in numismatic history. Every old penny jar in America was appended. Children checked their piggy banks, collectors inspected their rolls, and families across the nation dreamed that fortune might be hiding in their hands. The 1943 copper wheat penny soon became a legend of wealth. Some examples have sold for staggering amounts, well into the millions, depending on their condition and proof of authenticity. The value isn't just in the rarity. It's in the story, the human error, and the stroke of destiny that allowed a few ordinary coins to defy the system. To hold one is to hold an impossible moment in history, where metal and man crossed paths in a way that could never be repeated. The beauty of this coin lies in its simplicity. The obverse bears Abraham Lincoln's calm, wise face, a symbol of freedom and perseverance during one of the darkest times in human history. The reverse shows the humble wheat ears, representing the strength of America's farmers and the abundance of a nation that still believed in hope. Every curve and line in its design carries emotion, pride, and purpose. But when struck in copper during a year of steel, it became more than patriotic, it became poetic. What makes the 1943 no-mint mark copper penny truly magical is not only its physical form but its deeper meaning. It reminds us that even in the most controlled systems, chance finds a way. Perfection may be the goal, but imperfection creates legends. That one tiny error, a few copper blanks that refuse to conform, gave birth to the most valuable penny ever known. It's a story of resistance, resilience, and reward, echoing the very spirit of the America that minted it. Imagine, for a moment, discovering this coin in an old box, tucked away in a family heirloom collection or found at the bottom of a forgotten jar. Its dull copper glow might not look extraordinary at first, but within that small circle of metal lies the power to alter your life. A single authentic 1943 copper penny can command prices beyond imagination, because you're not just selling a coin, you're offering a piece of living history, a relic of chance that will never exist again. Collectors revere it like a holy grail. Historians respect it as a wartime artifact. Economists marvel at its worth. And dreamers see it as proof that fate can take the most ordinary object, a 1-cent coin, and elevate it to something priceless. Its allure continues to grow with every passing decade, as the number of confirmed specimens remains countable on your fingers. The fewer there are, the higher the flames of desire burn among collectors. The 1943 copper penny also stands as a reminder of the human touch behind every machine. In an age before automation ruled completely, human hands guided the minting process. Those same hands, unknowingly or intentionally, allowed a few copper planchets to slip through, a small act that would ripple through history forever. Each coin that escaped the factory floor became a symbol of that human unpredictability, that spark of imperfection that makes life so breathtakingly beautiful. Today, when you hear of this coin's value, it almost sounds like fantasy. How can something worth 1 cent be worth $1 million or more? Yet, the truth lies in its rarity, its story, and its survival. The copper 1943 penny defied war, time, and the odds themselves. It reminds us that treasures are not always made of gold and diamonds. Sometimes, they're forged in copper and destiny. So if you ever come across an old copper-colored 1943 penny with no mint mark, don't dismiss it. Don't spend it. Don't let it slip through your fingers. It could be one of the few surviving miracles of history. A coin capable of rewriting your life overnight. Hold it tight because that little circle of metal carries within it not just value but power. The power to remind the world that miracles happen when we least expect them, and that even the smallest things can carry the greatest fortunes. In the story of American money, the 1943 no-mint mark copper wheat penny is more than just the most valuable cent ever made. It is a symbol of hope, luck, and the unexpected beauty of error. It is proof that history, destiny, and wealth can come together in something as humble as a penny. And for the one who finds it, that simple coin might just be the key to an unimaginable future. Next up, the 1943 copper wheat penny, the coin that defied war and promised fortune beyond imagination. In the grand tapestry of American coinage, very few names evoke awe and wonder like the 1943 copper wheat penny. This is not merely a coin, it is a legend, a miracle of metal and circumstance that slipped past the roaring machinery of the Denver Mint during one of the most turbulent eras in human history. It represents defiance, destiny, and the hand of fate itself. The 1943 copper penny is the dream that makes collectors' hearts race and historians pause in disbelief. To own one is not to possess currency. It is to cradle a living fragment of American heritage and luck that could alter one's fortune forever. The story begins in the year 1943, a time when the entire planet was engulfed in the flames of World War II. America, determined and industrious, shifted every ounce of its might toward victory. Factories turned from producing goods to building weapons. Resources were rationed, and every metal, every drop of energy, was devoted to the war front. Copper, in particular, was precious. It was the lifeblood of bullets, shell casings, and communication wires. And because of that dire need, the U.S. Mint made a drastic change. For 1 year, all pennies would be made of zinc-coated steel instead of copper. It was a patriotic move, a small sacrifice by every citizen in the name of freedom. But history has a strange way of playing tricks on perfection. Somewhere in the Denver Mint, among the steel planchets and the thunder of coining presses, a handful of copper blanks from 1942 lingered in the machinery, unnoticed by workers focused on meeting wartime demand. These few planchets, glowing red under the factory lights, found their way under the heavy dyes of 1943. When the presses struck them, the impossible happened. A few genuine 1943 copper pennies were born. To the mint, this was an invisible accident. To the world, it would later become one of the most valuable mistakes in numismatic history. The D mint mark beneath the date signifies Denver, a mint known for its precision and speed. But in that moment, speed allowed magic to happen. Only a whisper of copper pennies escaped from Denver's steel-bound production, and their existence would not be confirmed until years later, when curious collectors stumbled upon a reddish-brown 1943 cent that shouldn't have existed. For decades, people doubted the stories. How could a copper penny from 1943 exist when the government swore only steel had been minted? But when experts authenticated the first 1943 copper wheat penny, it sent shockwaves through the collecting world. The impossible was real. Each discovery became a headline, each coin a revelation. In that single instant, a 1-cent piece became worth a lifetime of earnings. Today, the 1943 copper penny is regarded as one of the rarest coins ever struck in the United States. Fewer than a handful are known to exist, and each one has a story soaked in mystery and awe. Unlike ordinary coins, these were not made for collectors or ceremonies. They were accidents of fate, survivors of machinery and oversight. Every nick, every faint detail tells of their birth in chaos and their survival against time. When collectors hold one, they hold the unintentional masterpiece of an age defined by purpose and sacrifice. The design itself is humble yet heroic. The obverse bears the face of Abraham Lincoln, the president who saved the Union and gave new meaning to freedom. His calm expression and timeless gaze have graced every penny since 1909, but in the 1943 copper version, his portrait becomes something more, a symbol of endurance and resilience in an era that tested humanity's soul. On the reverse, 2 wheat stalks stand tall, framing the proud words, 1 cent and United States of America. It is simplicity woven with strength, a reflection of a nation's ideals during war. What elevates this coin beyond metal and minting, however, is its mythic rarity. Experts believe only a few genuine 1943 copper pennies were ever struck. They were never meant to exist, never logged, never planned, and yet they emerged, as though destiny itself wanted to leave behind a reminder that even perfection allows room for miracles. Each one is unique, bearing the fingerprints of the minting process and the marks of history. Over the years, these coins have fetched millions of dollars when they appear on the auction stage. Collectors from every corner of the world chase them like a treasure from legend. The fascination is not merely with their price, but with the story behind their creation. The 1943 copper penny embodies the unpredictable balance of error and excellence, of intention and accident. It is proof that even in a system designed for precision, the smallest misstep can give birth to something priceless. Imagine the emotion of holding such a coin in your hand, its soft copper glow radiating from a past 70-plus years distant. It doesn't sparkle like gold or gleam like silver, but its warmth feels alive, almost human. You can sense the echo of 1943 within it, the rumble of war factories, the hum of workers forging victory, the hidden moment when one copper blank was forgotten in a bin of steel. This coin carries that heartbeat still, pulsing with stories untold. And therein lies its power. The power to change one's fortune overnight. Because beyond its material worth, the 1943 copper penny carries symbolic value. It represents the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. A coin meant to be worth a single cent has defied expectation and grown into a masterpiece worth millions. It is a reminder that even the smallest things can hold the grandest possibilities, and that chance can favor anyone at any moment. Historians and numismatists agree that the 1943 copper wheat penny is the pinnacle of American minting lore. It embodies the nation's wartime ingenuity, its human fallibility, and its timeless hope. It has become the holy grail for collectors, the dream find for treasure hunters, and the whispered legend among old coin dealers who still remember the first time one surfaced. So, if by some miracle you ever come across a 1943 copper penny, handle it with reverence. Do not spend it. Do not overlook it. Within that tiny disc of copper lies a fortune, yes, but also a story of courage, accident, and endurance. It is the coin that united luck and legacy, the 1-cent piece that defied both time and reason. In the grand saga of American money, the 1943 D copper wheat penny will forever remain a symbol of how destiny sometimes bends the rules, how a forgotten fragment of metal can become a monument of value, and how one coin, just one, can hold the power to change your fortune forever. Next up, the 1956 D wheat penny, the last roar of an era and the hidden copper gem that can rewrite your destiny. In the world of American coins, there are few treasures that hold the same nostalgic magic, historical depth, and mysterious value as the 1956 D wheat penny. To the untrained eye, it might appear as just another copper cent, a relic from a time long past. But to collectors, historians, and dreamers alike, this little coin represents the closing chapter of a golden age, a final whisper of the wheat penny legacy before America stepped into a new era of design and identity. The 1956 D wheat penny is not merely a coin. It is a storyteller, a silent witness to a century's heartbeat, and a symbol of how something so small can carry unimaginable worth and power. To truly understand the 1956 D wheat penny's importance, we must travel back to the post-World War II era, a time when America stood strong, proud, and prosperous. The year 1956 was an age of new beginnings. Cars gleamed in chrome, television flickered in living rooms, and the dreams of millions pulsed with energy. The country was booming, but amid this era of progress, the Lincoln wheat penny still clung to tradition. Born in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it had become one of the most beloved and recognizable coins in U.S. history. Its simple yet powerful design, Lincoln's portrait on the front, wheat stalks embracing the reverse, captured the nation's heart for nearly half a century. By 1956, the design had already survived 2 world wars, the Great Depression, and countless technological revolutions. And in that year, the Denver Mint produced millions of these copper beauties marked with the proud D mint mark, symbolizing the strength of the Western frontier and the spirit of American craftsmanship. Each one was struck with precision, yet among them, there emerged a small handful of coins that defied perfection. Coins that carried errors, doubled impressions, or unusually rich copper tones that would one day make them priceless. The 1956 D wheat penny stands at the crossroads of old and new. It was one of the last years before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959, making it among the final chapters in the long saga of the wheat penny. Collectors today see it as the last breath of a coinage era that symbolized America's grit and growth. But the value of this coin doesn't just rest on its place in history. It also lies in its potential rarity. While millions were minted, only a few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. And within that limited number, even fewer contain the elusive minting anomalies that turn ordinary pennies into treasures worth thousands, or in some cases, millions. One of the most talked about varieties of the 1956 D wheat penny is the double die error, where parts of the design, like Lincoln's profile or the lettering Liberty and In God We Trust, appear doubled due to slight misalignments during striking. These coins are the miracles of minting, born from mechanical imperfection yet transformed into legends by time. A perfect 1956 D double die, glowing with its original copper-red luster, is the kind of find that collectors dream of. Its worth can skyrocket beyond imagination, proving that fortune often hides in the smallest corners. But beyond its monetary value, this coin carries something far greater: emotion and meaning. The copper that makes up the 1956 D wheat penny feels alive. It has warmth, character, and history. Each piece was made from the same material that defined American coinage since the days of Lincoln himself. When you hold one, you're touching the same metal that once represented a hard-working nation rebuilding itself after war, dreaming of peace and prosperity. Its reddish glow is not just color. It's memory cast in metal. What makes the 1956 D penny particularly fascinating is how it bridges generations. For the grandparents of today, it was once a piece of everyday life, exchanged at corner stores and soda fountains. For collectors, it's a window into a time when even the smallest coin carried artistry and national pride. And for dreamers, it's a symbol of luck, a coin that whispers that great fortune can be found in the most unexpected places. Throughout history, countless people have discovered rare pennies by accident. inside old jars, tucked in boxes, or found at estate sales, never realizing that what they held could buy a house, a car, or even change their entire life. The 1956 D wheat penny, particularly one in pristine or aeriform, holds that same power. Its copper composition, its age, and its place in history combine to give it a magnetism few other coins possess. It's a reminder that sometimes the universe hides wealth in plain sight. The D mint mark, proudly stamped beneath the date, connects this coin to the mighty Denver Mint, one of the hardest working mints in American history. The Denver Mint was known for its precision and volume, but even within its walls, human hands and eyes guided the process. Each coin bore the mark of craftsmanship, and each rare imperfection that slipped through now carries the aura of destiny. These small flaws are what transform the 1956 D penny from common change into priceless relics of the past. The legacy of the wheat penny design itself gives this coin a special glow. The two stalks of wheat on the reverse are more than decoration. They represent abundance, growth, and the promise of harvest. At the heart of the design lies the phrase E pluribus unum, out of many one, a reflection of unity, of a nation rising together. The 1956 D penny was minted during a time when those words resonated deeply in American hearts, as the country stood united in the midst of rapid change. Collectors today chase the 1956 D wheat penny not just for its value, but for its symbolism. It represents the perfect blend of history, craftsmanship, and chance. Its copper glow connects us to the past, while its increasing value ties it to the future. Some high-grade examples, especially those with rare minting errors or original mint luster, have fetched jaw-dropping prices at auctions. The thrill of discovering one still sends ripples of excitement through the collecting world. Imagine the moment. You're sorting through an old coin jar, your fingers brushing past dull pennies, when suddenly one catches the light differently. A richer hue, a sharper strike, a whisper of the past calling out. That 1956 D wheat penny could be the key to an unimaginable fortune, the coin that transforms you from an ordinary finder into a legend among collectors. That is the power this little disc holds, the ability to change your fortune overnight. The 1956 D wheat penny stands today as both a historical artifact and a symbol of hidden wealth. It's the coin that closes one of the greatest chapters in U.S. minting history, the final shining age of copper wheat cents. Its story is one of endurance, rarity, and timeless beauty. Whether nestled in a velvet collector's case or waiting in a forgotten box, it carries within it the heartbeat of America's past and the promise of tomorrow's luck. So if destiny ever places a 1956 D wheat penny in your hand, hold it with reverence. It is more than a cent. It is a miracle in copper, a messenger from another time, and perhaps the key to your own unimaginable fortune. For in this small piece of metal lies the spirit of a nation, the echo of history, and the thrilling possibility that even a humble penny can make you a billionaire overnight.